Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel. Time for a hard rock and heavy metal update. It's been a while since I've done one, I believe. So I got quite a bit to show. Just real quick, thanks to everybody for the well-wishing and for the comments about my family and I getting COVID. I'm about 90% recovered now. Still got a little bit of congestion, and it's more like allergy symptoms at this point. You can probably hear it in my throat a little bit. Definitely a lot better than it was when I did my last video, though, where I was still coughing a lot. The coughing is pretty much done. So overall, it sucked. I'm glad it's over with. At least I hope it's over with. Anyway, let's just kind of jump in. These first few are VCLT from War God, Metal War God, Kevin. As always, thanks, Kevin. I really appreciate it. I finally got around to, got time to listen to these a couple times and really enjoyed them. He sent me 3 records. All of them are really good. The first one, straight up Swedish new wave of traditional metal, really good, really dug this one. I wasn't familiar with this band. This is from this is a new one. This is 2021, so very cool. But this is a band called Viral. Again, Swedish new wave of traditional metal. Definitely recommend checking this one out for you guys that are into just the traditional metal. Really good. This one is on, looks like it was self-released. But very cool. Let's see, got too much stuff right here. Next up, this one is, Septagon? Yeah, Septagon, Deadhead Syndicate. This album is fantastic. This was my favorite of the 3. This one's got, I've listened to all of them at least twice, but I've spun this one 3 or 4 times. This one's really killer. Thrash, a little bit progressive, a little bit of power metal mixed in. Really dug this one. These guys are from Germany, and just absolutely killed it. Just a fantastic album. If you're a power metal guy or girl, or a thrash head, definitely recommend checking this one out. This one's from 2016. I think they've got a couple additional, I believe they had 2 more albums as well. So I'll definitely be on the lookout for everything else from this band. And this last one, I didn't like this one at first. It kind of grew on me after a couple of spins. I actually just spun this one a few hours ago again. And I did like it more with each spin. Kind of a weird style, though. They call themselves progressive thrash, which they're not. There's a little bit of thrash in this album, but very little. There's a little bit of progressive, but only in the guitar. And it's not something I would, there's a little bit of technical guitar in the album, so it's probably closer to a tech. I would call them a tech thrash before progressive thrash. But then again, I mean, they're really not thrash. It's almost like a New York hardcore. It's more of a hardcore sound. So maybe progressive hardcore. I don't know. It's a different, I do like it. And like I said, it took a couple spins to grow on me. But the name of the band is Droid. And the album is Disconnected. And I love this artwork. This artwork is awesome. And one of the guys, I didn't see which one it was. But the main guy from the band was also in Action, which was a Canadian new wave traditional metal band. They put out a couple albums. I think they've disbanded. Action, AXXION, I think is how it was spelled. And they made, I remember early, back 2014, 2015, a couple of guys were showing their stuff when everybody was just starting to get into new wave of traditional metal. I actually like that better than this, but this one did grow on me. Regardless, I really appreciate it, Kevin. 3 great albums. I hope you enjoy the stuff that you just got. I saw that you opened it. So that's it for those. And then the rest of this is just kind of a mix of stuff that I pulled out and just felt like spinning over the last few weeks. And some new stuff that came in. The first one, though, they just did an anniversary edition of, is it 89? 40th anniversary, man. Frost and Fire from Cirith Ungol. Just an absolute classic. I didn't have this one on vinyl, so I was really happy when I saw that they were repressing this. It's kind of weird the way they did it, though. So they did a 40th anniversary remix, which sounds fantastic. They did a great job remixing it. But then they also did a 2021 remaster, which is it's still 40th. So they did a 40th anniversary remix, and then disc 2 is a 40th anniversary remaster. I don't think the remaster sounds very good. I think they could have just left that off, or put in another disc with maybe the demo, one of the demos or something. Something different than just 2 copies of the same album. One sounding good, one sounding not great. But I ordered this one directly from the band. I'm not going to pull it out, but the gatefold is signed by 3 of the original members. I know one of the guys is no longer with the band. I'm not sure if the drummer is the original drummer, but regardless, it sounds fantastic, the remix version of it. I'm not sure what they go for. I paid a little bit more again because I got the signed copy, and they only did, I think, 100 of them. Regardless, Metal Blade did a fantastic job on this, and I do recommend grabbing it. I think the only Cirith Ungol I need now is their second demo, which is the one with the black cover. I just lucked out. Actually, if you go on to their Bandcamp, the orange demo, they did a pressing of 666 last year, the year before, and they sold out. And apparently they came across a couple copies because there's like 16 available on their Bandcamp right now. So I was able to get that because I missed it last time. And so now I just need the black demo, which I've never seen that get repressed. And then I still need a copy of their second album as well. I've got everything else from them though. Next up, this has been on my want list for probably 10 years. And it's gotten a couple of different represses. I've run across original copies. And I've just always ended up grabbing something else instead. I'm glad I finally have this because I absolutely love this album and I absolutely love this band. But this is Into the Dark Past from Angel Dust. I actually wish I would. This is the high roller pressing that just came out. I wish I could have gotten the I can't think of the name of the Greek label. It doesn't matter. I wish I'd have got the repress from a couple years ago. High Roller's been using GZ to press their vinyl, and I've found it to be hit or miss lately over the last 2 years, and it just may be because they're so overbooked. Some of them sound fantastic, some of them don't. This one's kind of right in the middle. Still really happy to have this in the collection. I love this album. The band, this is their, if you're only familiar with the last few Angel Dust albums, they started as a straight up thrash band and then moved their way into progressive metal. I like both sides. There's not one I like better, but that's always been a favorite of mine, that debut album. Next up, just filling in some empty spots from Cloven, Hoof. This is Dominator. I believe this was their third album. This is the Buried by Time and Dust reissue. There's very few labels that do as good a job as these guys do. Anything you get from Buried by Time and Dust is going to sound fantastic. And this does as well. Next up. So I haven't been coughing. Now that I'm talking, it's drying my mouth up. Next up, Beautiful Distraction from Haunt. Just another fantastic album from Haunt, man. Trevor Church has just been putting out album after album, and all of them, except for that last comp that they did, the comp of the EPs, I've loved everything, and this is no different. I can't remember which one. This one was limited to 100, whatever color I got this one on, or got this one in. But new wave of traditional metal. Trevor Church, just one of the best. And next up, this was Black Acid Devil from Danzig. I am happy to have this on vinyl. I've never been a fan of this album. I remember when it came out. I loved Danzig 1 through 3. I think they're some of my all-time favorite albums. 4 had a couple of fantastic songs. But as a whole, I thought the album was mediocre. And then Danzig decided to go the techno route. And luckily, it only lasted for this one album. There are a couple songs on here I really like, and I did see him on this tour. Funny enough, he only played one song off of this album. The rest of it was classic stuff. But they did a killer job with the artwork, man. That looks really fucking cool. And it folds out. So they're doing this. I don't know why he hasn't done represses of 1 through 4 yet. It just makes no sense to me. He owns the rights. I saw that he owns the rights to them. So I don't know what his deal is. But next up, so this is a band that what's the, hang on. All right, Killer Be Killed. So when I first heard about this collaboration, I was definitely interested in checking it out. So you've got Greg, the singer from Dillinger Escape Plan. You've got Max Cavalera from, obviously, Sepultura and Soulfly and Cavalera Conspiracy. Troy Sanders of Mastodon. And then the drummer from the Mars Volta was on this one. I think on the newest album he wasn't. And I remember being interested in checking it out, and I skipped it, and I just ran across this. Was this a repress? Whatever. I got this for a really good deal. This is a great album. It's definitely a mix of styles. So you hear a little bit of Soulfly, a little bit of Dillinger Escape Plan, a little bit of Mastodon in here. It's a really cool sound. I mean, if you liked any of Max Cavalera's side projects, you'll probably like this. And then the vocals, the main vocals are done by Greg from Dillinger Escape Plan. But then Troy also does quite a bit of vocals too. So because of Troy's vocals, you kind of get a little bit of that Mastodon feel. Definitely a killer album. I'm going to check out they had one come out last year called Reluctant Hero. So I'll probably check that one out as well. You guys will have to tell me if that one was as good as this one. I really dug this though. Just kind of, like I said, I found it for like $15 and I'm glad I got it because I really loved it. A repress that we've all been waiting for. Original copies have gotten insane. And it's one of the band's best, but M16 from Sodom. The song M16 is one of my favorite Sodom songs. There's not a bad track on here. This album is so good. They did a great job repressing it. They added 2, Remember the Fallen and Blasphemer. Remember the Fallen, another favorite song of mine, live at Wacken. Fantastic job, though. A little bit pricey, but then again, it's one I've wanted on vinyl since, when did this originally come out? 2000, 2001? That's one I've wanted on vinyl since I started collecting records again, though. And like I said, really glad to have it. I think that one's on clear orange vinyl. They did a box set. I didn't see anything special about the box set, so I skipped on that one. Next up, this is a band. One of the guys in the VC first told me about this band. And man, I cannot get enough of them. Such a good band. What do they consider themselves, I wonder? Let's see. Yeah, that's about right. Progressive power metal is what they call themselves. But this is this the newest album? Yeah, this is the 2021 release. If I'm not going to do a top 10 or top 20 this year, I'm still pretty unorganized. I'm still working on going through everything and getting everything in order. So I've got a lot of stuff put away. I've got other stuff in the stacks. It would be too much work to find the albums. But if I was to do a top 10, this album would be in it. It's Curse of Autumn by Witherfall. It was their second album, A Prelude to Sorrow, that I first turned me out of the band, and I've been hooked ever since. I've played this 5 or 6 times, and their first 2 albums I've been playing pretty regularly as well. If you haven't checked these guys out, man, they're fantastic. Next up, we got a little bit of Ratt. It's funny, Aaron just did a video talking about Ratt. I personally like Ratt. Are they cheesy? Yes. I've still always liked them, but not my favorite album, but it's one that I've wanted on vinyl. There's a couple songs on here I really like, but this is Detonator. Finally ran across a copy for a decent price. I believe this is a French pressing. Yeah. So Detonator. Next up, the Rods. Just pulled this one out to give it a spin. I've had this one for a number of years now. Let Them Eat Metal. This is probably my favorite of the Rods albums. This and the debut. I shouldn't say the debut. Actually, speaking of the debut, I haven't listened to it yet. High Roller just did a reissue of the debut, which originals go for crazy money. I believe it was self-released. They did a really shitty job on the cover. I haven't spun it yet, though, so I don't have any comments about it. But their second album, their major label debut, and this one are probably my favorites. But just got in the Rods mood. I've actually spun 3 or 4 of their albums in the last month. Next up, the new album from Black Label Society. Good album, not a great album. I gave it 2 or 3 spins. There's 2 songs on here I really like. The problem with Black Label Society, they're one of my favorite bands. Their last couple albums, though, there haven't been real standout tracks. The whole albums are good. There's not a bad song on here. There are 2 songs that I like better than the others. But all of their previous albums had really good standout tracks. And that one's kind of missing from this one and the last couple. They just all kind of sound the same. I don't want to say it's a rut. I want to hear them try to expand on their sound a little bit, which it may not happen, but still recommend grabbing this one. If you're a Black Label Society fan, you're going to dig it. Another one, just shitty artwork. I mean, there's no reason. It's a brand new album, but I don't know if you can see how pixelated and granulate. It just doesn't look good up close. They took a small picture and blew it up, and they just didn't do a good job doing it. I don't know if you can see it. Actually, you can really see it on the back there, how bad that looks. But next up, I ran across a really good price original pressing of Master of Puppets. I sold all my Metallica original pressings 5 or 6 years ago. Because honestly, the represses, the recent blackened represses just sound better. They did a really good job on those mastering those. But I ran across a couple of... I've replaced all of my original pressings with nicer copies, with the exception of the debut. That's the only original pressing that I still need. But got this one, gave it 3 or 4 spins. I've been listening. Unfortunately, it has a seam split there, but other than that, the thing was mint. It was still in the shrink. It looked unplayed. I saw Metallica twice in the last month and a half, and I've been on a Metallica kick after seeing them a couple times. So we've got Master. Nuclear Assault. I believe this one was VCLT from Scott, if I remember correctly. The Plague mini album. This is one of my favorite Nuclear Assault albums. I like all of them. I've always liked this one. The song Buttfuck, I've always loved that song. Just a fantastic album. This was one of the High Roller reissues. I think he ran across a really nice original pressing, and then sent me the High Roller pressing. So hopefully I will run across a nice original pressing, and I'll pass that one on to somebody too. But next up, one of my favorite, this would probably be in my top 3 albums of the year. Andy Cloudy Milder told me about these guys, and I ordered it. I actually got it on cassette in error. I ordered the album, and they sent me the cassette instead. Trevor from Church Records, after like 4 emails, finally got back to me and sent me the album that I ordered. But a fantastic album. The Steve Waddell, I don't know, he was in another band. It wasn't one I was familiar with, but it's kind of a one-man band type of deal. However, he brought in Trevor Church to play drums. He does everything else on here, and then Trevor also does backing vocals. But if you like Haunt, you're gonna like this one. I actually like this better than the last few Haunt albums, but definitely recommend grabbing this one. Next up, one of the most underrated albums by this band. This would probably be my 3rd or 4th favorite from the band. And it's their last album, which You know, the 2 albums before this were, I just thought were okay. And then they ended with this fantastic album. You had Phil Lynott and Scott Gorham just steeped in addiction at this point, and they still ended up putting out one of their heaviest albums, Thunder and Lightning. If you haven't heard this album, it's a must-have. It's so good. The Sun Goes Down is one of my favorite Thin Lizzy songs. Holy War, Heart Attack, Bad Habits, Cold Sweat. It's just a fantastic album. I ran across this really nice Japanese press. I don't remember where I got this one from. I may have ordered it from Rockadrome, now that I think about it. But a must-have. Just a fantastic album. Next up, Saint. I pulled this one out again. I hadn't listened to it since it came out. This is the most recent from Saint. I almost didn't buy this one. Just because the 2 or 3 albums before it, I just thought were okay. I think they really found their sound again with this one, and they just blew it out of the park. This was selling for crazy money through the reseller, the different distributors. It was like $38, and then the band had it for like $21. So I ordered it directly from the band, but man, they absolutely killed it with this. Is that okay, it's called The Calf. I thought it was Kill the Calf. Highly recommend this one, though. If you like those first few Saint albums, you're going to like this one. Next up, pulled this one out again. I've showed it before. I liked it the first couple listens. It's just okay now. It's not my least favorite Ozzy album, but it's definitely not even in the top 10 for my favorites. But Ordinary Man, just shitty press. I haven't heard... Oh, there goes the light. Oh well. It'll be dark for the last few minutes. I haven't heard anybody say that they found a nice pressing of this. Sounds like crap, though. Next up, Ram. I just got in a Ram mood, pulled out there. Is this their last 2 albums, I think? 2007. I believe this is their last 2. But pulled out Ramrod, which I just thought was okay. This is probably my least favorite Ram album. And then, what was this one called? The Throne Within. This one I really like. This is their last one. Hopefully we get another album from Ram soon. Just a fantastic new wave of British heavy metal. New wave of traditional metal band. Just a couple left. Another Angel Dust. This is their EP demo, maybe, that came out a year or 2 before their debut. High Roller pressed this. It's fantastic. It's very raw. Just really killer thrash. If you're an Angel Dust or a thrash fan, kind of a must-have type of deal. Next up, we got Dragon Slayer. So glad to finally have this. I had an original pressing in my hand a number of years ago for a good price and didn't grab it, and I've always kicked myself. They did a repress with the original cover a few years ago. I didn't buy it. So I'm happy to finally have it. But this is Dragon Slayer, Dragon Drums. I don't remember what all is on this. This may be their whole discography. I can't remember. It's 4 sides, though. It's a true double LP. I mean, it's probably about 2 hours of just killer new wave of British heavy metal. Fantastic. Let's see. 2020. It doesn't give much information about it. I do like this new cover, though. And then last but not least, I showed this, but I've spun this probably 5 times. I have a really nice Japanese pressing of this and an original pressing, but they just did such a good job on the best of Judas Priest for Record Store Day. Probably my favorite of the Record Store Day releases. All the embossing. It looks so good, and it sounds amazing. I love those first few Judas Priest albums, and that's what you're getting here. Fantastic. That's it, guys. I hope everybody's doing good. Happy New Year. I will see you soon. Take care.